Are you learning watercolor, but you're having trouble getting the same vibrant colors that you see other people painting with? I've got a fun and easy sketchbook exercise that's going to help us practice getting those really bright, vibrant colors. If you're working from pan paints, the first thing you want to do is wet your colors. This is going to give you more access to the colors. To start, in any of your mixing bowls, put a little water in it because we're going to need some water as the base of what we're mixing. We're going to go from less saturated to more saturated. Take a damp, clean brush and tap it onto whatever color we want to use. Then we're going to swirl that around into that water. Because we grabbed just a little bit of that color and mixed it into the water, we're going to get a nice light version of that. Fill your brush up with it and then pick a starting point, and we're going to make a stroke outwards. Then without washing or wetting our brush, we want to again tap on that same color and mix it into that water. That's going to make a slightly darker version of that color. Rotate your page a little bit. We're going to leave a little space, but we're going to swoop out again with this color. You might have guessed where this is going, but we're going to again take that same brush that's damp with the color we used onto the little square of watercolor, and then we're going to again mix it into that water and swoop out. The more of the paint that you're able to add into that solution, the more concentrated that color is going to get. Continue these steps until you've completed one full rotation around the page. Then we want to let this dry or make it dry. One thing to note is that as watercolors dry, they get lighter in color. So when you're painting, you want to take into account that the color you're putting down is not going to be the same color it is when it's dry. Now I'm going to go in between those spaces with a different color so we can see this happen again. The reason I'm telling you not to wash your brush in between is because as we wash our brush, unless we dry it off really well, we're going to be inadvertently introducing more and more water into our solution, and that will continue to dilute the color, kind of working against you as you try to make it a more saturated and vibrant color. Between switching colors, I'm going to go ahead and let this dry or make it dry. And the reason I'm doing that in this one is just so that I don't smudge the colors with my hands as I rotate this around. But you could do this one without drying in between colors because none of them are going to touch if you didn't want to have to go through the trouble. There are a couple keys to getting really saturated colors. The first is going to be to pre-wet your colors so that you actually have access to them, because otherwise you're just going to be fighting an uphill battle just trying to tap tiny bits. The second key is patience. You're going to have to tap a couple different times and test and tap and test and tap. There's a chance that your paints don't have the same amount of pigment that you're seeing demonstrated with. But more than likely it comes down to patience and just continuing to add more and more in without introducing any new water. Also, side note, the one that I demonstrated with on the top-down view, I started in a direction where it showcases more of the lighter colors instead of the darker colors. And this one I like a little bit better. I think it shows off the difference better when I moved in a direction that showcased more of the darker colors than the lighter ones.